Rashid here from rnbsinginglessons.com. I wanted to talk about two topics today. I had a lot of comments on my last TNT boys video, and I'm telling you, where I was commenting on the judge's comment, where the judge said that TNT meant totally natural talent. So I'm going to get to your comments as well, but first I want to discuss this and put up your questions and stuff as I'm talking about it, and then I'll go into it. So the first thing with the TNT boys, they said totally natural talent, and a lot of comments I noticed seemed like they were kind of agreeing with what I was saying, and there was a bunch of comments that weren't agreeing. Most of them were respectful in how they were disagreeing, and I want to talk about that to say my points further, because I think I might have been misunderstood. I'm not sure, but I want to clarify because it's quite a complex topic. And the other topic is Dimash. I didn't know about it because I didn't see the judge's comments for Dimash. But Ken Tamplin video popped up on my feed today, which was him reacting to a judge. And then I watched that video, Ken Tamplin's video. It was a good video, it was 17 minutes. And Ken talked about all kinds of stuff in regards to what that judge was saying. So I wanted to make my comments on that. The judge's name was Dave Eringer, and he's a producer. Okay, so by the way, I'm using my little mic here. So if the sound drops out, because I got a case on, and sometimes once I tapped it in the case and it wasn't heard properly. So just let me know if you don't hear me well. Whoop. Okay, here we go back. All right, so TNT boys, first of all. Now, talent or training? This is a debate that's happened a lot before I started to do reactions on my channel. What I mean by talent, let's define what we mean. Talent, it's hard actually to define. Okay, let me tell you why. Let's say you see someone that is an amazing performer, such as TNT boys, okay? Mackie, Francis, Kiefer. You see those guys. How do you know if they have talent? Is it because they're kids? You can't say that, right? We can see kids 3 years old playing incredible pianists, for example. You go look into them and you notice that they had lessons, right? Or they had a grandma that plays piano or something. Does that mean they had no talent? Not necessarily. Is what I'm going to get deeper. So by looking at someone in their current level of ability, it's hard for you to tell whether they're naturally gifted or not. Now, I totally believe in naturally gifted people. 100%. I do believe 100% that people have natural talent. Why? Because I've observed it. I have 2 siblings who are extremely naturally talented in music, and they're naturally talented in different levels too. So I watched them grow up with my own eyes, so I have a real experience. I saw exactly the history of their life. You know what I mean? It wasn't like when you interview someone and you try to ask them, what did you do? Like, for example, I just assumed, even though I'm a teacher, I assumed JR was extremely naturally talented, right? And then he told me that his sister actually taught him when he was young. Does that mean he had no natural talent? Not necessarily, but he did have help. He did come from a musical family. He was in the environment, for example. Now, Johan didn't say he had all those things, for example, and you can watch that interview to see what he said. But he asked band members and people that he played music with, and they gave him help and advice. So it's hard to know if someone is talented just by looking at them because you don't know the history. What do I think talent is? I think talent is the ability to hear something really well, and then to have the musculature in your body, your breathing muscles, your singing, your vocal cords, the ability to hear and the ability to move your muscles in a way that you can copy well. That's what I think talent is, without needing much assistance. Now, you have to have some kind of assistance, right? What I mean by assistance is, if you don't have a CD or an MP3 or a YouTube video to listen to in the first place, there's no way you could even learn or come up with something unless you're extremely creative, right? So for example, let's say If we go to like a tribe that lives in Brazil, or like there's only very few remaining tribes, or like Aboriginal tribes in Australia, you'll never hear them singing R&B, right? You'll never hear them sing like Beyonce. Listen, you'll never hear them sing like a pop song. You won't hear it because they're never exposed to it. Does that mean they don't have the talent to copy it? No. They might have the talent to copy it, but they have to have the material to copy in the first place. So people told me TNT boys, Philippines is a karaoke culture. People listen to karaoke, they grow up with karaoke. They told me, I don't know if it was about TNT boys, but they told me that people in Philippines have a microphone in their hand for me when they're 2 years old. And that's amazing. I love that. Sounds amazing. I wish I grew up in that culture, right? So to go further in that, they're in the culture where they sing, but does everyone come out like as good as them? No. So there's something more that's come into it, right? Is it natural talent? Possibly. Is it possibly family members that can already sing that nudge them? You're off pitch on that note. Fix that note. That's a form of training. Can you see? So they tell them, your high note wasn't high enough. It was a bit flat. Or, hey, why don't you try to get higher? You don't need a formal vocal teacher to tell you these things. You might just have someone in your house who has a good enough ear to be able to tell you, hey, you suck, fix that. For example, sometimes that's all the advice you'll get. Sometimes the only advice you'll get is shut up, stop singing. So my point is, it's hard to know unless you interview someone and interview the people they grew up around, because they're so young. You might want to interview also, I would love to interview the people they grew up with and to see, what kind of advice did they get? What things could they do automatically? I'd love to hear these stories. There's a channel, Claire, I forgot the name of the channel. Claire and the Family or something like that. Anyway, Claire, she went on the Ellen show and her dad shows her and he describes what she could do. He said, she went on the piano as a 2 or 3 year old. She touched the piano and she sang the note right. And they have a video proof of that showing her, and they're talking in the background saying, hey, she's on pitch. It looks like a real, home video. So that's an example of talent. Okay, so the kid with no training, just possibly listening to her dad sing around the house. Her dad's a singer and he's a good singer. He's not like an exceptional singer, but he's good. He's good enough to be like on a CD and everything, but he's not like, like heaps special and amazing. But his daughter turned out with this skill level where she can match pitch actually better than him, because they have a video where they have a competition of who can figure out the key of the song. And she can match the key better than him. And you can see that she's actually telling him what's right and wrong and training him in the video, showing that she's more naturally gifted than him. She's more talented than he is, even though he's had time to work on his talent and build that skill over the years. She's ahead of him, right? At that age, she's actually ahead. So she's not just learning from him, she's already ahead. So that tells you that natural talent is real. Like I said, I believe in natural talent. And I do tend to think that even adults who are really good, I do tend to think that they have a level of natural talent, as well as having put in hundreds of hours of training to get that natural talent to be at a high level. All right. Now, so I hope you get what I mean by natural talent. Now, I mean that the people. So I'll go more into it. A further example is, let's say TNT boys, maybe they could match pitch by themselves already. Maybe they had an amazing talent to hear runs, because there's amazing singers that can't actually do runs. If you'll notice, you might hear in the charts singers that never do runs and singers that do lots of runs, because they're not talented at that. There's singers that are very talented at hitting high notes. Not all singers can hit exceptionally high notes, right? But some can, and they're known for that. Katrina Valade, Morissette Amon, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, they're known for these high notes. They're known for, like, whistles, Whitney Houston, for this power belt. Not everyone can hit high notes like Wanya Morris from Boyz II Men, right? That's why we see them as special. Certain rock singers, the guy from AC/DC, for example, is super high notes. So in children or in young adults or in adults, these skills you tend to lump them. That's why I split singing into the elements, into lyrics, range, falsetto, blend, vibrato, runs. Some singers can do amazing vibrato, some can't, but they can do every other element of the vocals really well. So people are naturally talented in different areas. Some people have amazing ears. My brother, for example, has an incredible ear. From when he was 10 years old, 11, 12 years old, he could listen to any music and figure it out on the piano with no formal training, zero lessons. I never taught him anything about piano or guitar. He taught himself. He could just hear it. He'd go to a piano and play it and figure it out. So that's an immensely, like that's a certain type of skill. It's called an advanced ear, where you can hear. Even he could hear like Mozart, Beethoven music, and he was copying it. I was like, wow. And once we had a jam where I was in a band and the band came over, and one of the band members who's 50, he'd been playing in bands for 30 years, he was trying to figure out a song, and it was quite difficult. It had a difficult blues chord progression and it had like chromatic stuff in it, which is something that's advanced if you don't know what that means. The guy was trying to figure it out for 10 minutes. My brother, he wasn't even part of the jam. He came in to get me water or something like that, or he joined in the jam. He picked up the guitar and he figured it out in like less than 1 minute. And he was like 12 years old. So that's an example of talent, and it's beautiful. Look how I'm laughing. Like, this is like my reaction is real. I still remember it. Like, and my brother is my go-to guy when I can't find sheet music for something and I can't figure it out. I'm like, Karim, can you work this out for me? You can check out his channel. He's Karim Hayek. Karim Hayek is his name. I've done many videos with him. Karim. You can search my channel for videos with him. That's what an example of he's naturally talented in that area. He could also sing really complicated runs. He'll learn them much quicker, much quicker than I would, right? I might have to do, for example, 300 reps to learn a run, but he would learn it in 10 reps. All right, this is real. Like, that's what talent is. And I do definitely think TNT boys were definitely talented in different things, probably, right? They probably like had talent, but I do think that they were maybe at some points guided or influenced by people that they were around, influenced by music they listened to, maybe nudged here and there, that was almost perfect, son. Maybe do it again, but like fix that little bit in the bridge. Little things like that make someone think twice, make someone go, oh, like, I know I'm good, but there's someone helps them get a little better. That's an example of talent where you don't need that formal one-to-one, like the beginners that I teach, for example. Even when they practice alone, it's hard for them to practice alone because they need that one-on-one help. They need that constant me telling them wrong note, fix it. That's right, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong. They need that in the lesson, they need that every time we do a lesson. They need that for a year, 2 years before they get to that point where they're naturally, now they can hear it. Now they're skilled enough now they're at the beginning, now they're at an intermediate level, for example, right? And I got advanced people who I do that with, but I do that with on advanced things. So I might do it with them on a really, really hard run, right? Or I might do them for a beginner, it'll be like, for example, just learning to sing, I believe I can fly. For them, that will be like, oh my God, what is happening? But I believe I can fly. It's like completely wrong, right? But for an advanced person, it might be like, I can fly. That might be the thing that they're learning. So for them, that's what I'll help them with. But then the beginner, I'll help them with, I believe I can. So it's like different levels, all right? So definitely talent is real, but training is needed, and training happens in different forms. Sometimes it's one-to-one training. Sometimes it's family members nudging you, fix this pitch, fix that pitch. I never had lessons with my 10 years younger brother, Karim. But what I did do is a lot of the time, or maybe I gave him 2 or 3 lessons ever, but a lot of the time what I did do with him was I'd listen to his music that he was recording, covers, originals, and I said to him, bro, it's like, it's so good in these ways, but in these ways, it's not that great. Like, your pitch is about 80% accurate. You sound a bit sloppy, like a bit flat in some pitches. Work on that. Get those pitches right. And I remember He'd be upset. I'll give him advice. He'd get upset. He'd be like, "What do you mean, though? Blah blah blah. I'm good." I go, "Yeah, you're good. You got a great ear, but the muscles need to be trained to be on pitch. Just because you can hear the pitch doesn't mean you can naturally just do it. You need to practice being on pitch every pitch. If there's 300 notes in a song, every note needs to be nearly 100% pitch accurate. It can't be a little flat as you're changing notes into words. For example, every word has a note. Every run has a note. Every vibrato has a note. Every high note, that note needs to be really accurate, right? So I used to tell him that a lot. And it took him maybe 20 recordings that he made and showed me before he got the idea and practiced and started to take that, and then started to realize, hey, my pitch needs to be really accurate or else I'm not going to sound professional. I'm not going to sound advanced, right? So that was constant nudging that I gave him, even though I never sat him down and said, okay, let's work on your pitch. Let's do this exercise. Let's break this song apart and fix it. I never even did that with him. He could figure it out himself. He did figure it out himself, but he needed that guidance. Some people, that's not enough. Some people need guidance. They need me to sit down, give them exercises, give them feedback, corrections, every single exercise, every moment. Different levels, all right? That's TNT boys. So I would love to interview them and get to know them better and get an idea of their talent and to view their family. But this is a difficult topic, and there's a lot of uncertainty with this topic because people are like, talent versus training. We don't really know unless you really get to know someone deeply from their childhood, what are they talented in and what do they get training in? Yeah? So that's why I'm a big believer in talking about training and admiring and appreciating the talent, all right? Because without training, you can't go further. So you might have talent, but your talent limits you to this point, okay? I don't know if TNT boys ever had a limit. Maybe they could figure everything out. Do all three of them whistle, for example? I don't know if all three of them can whistle. I can't remember. But that could be something that there's a talent. Like I remember Kiefer whistling, really like it stood out, really amazing. I don't know if the other guys can. So that could be like a level of talent that's there that maybe the others, and if they can, then I'm completely wrong. I just don't remember. I've done a lot of reactions. So can you see what I mean there? There's talent in different areas. So training is important because you could be like, what am I not talented at? Or what am I talented at, but this is my limit. This is my wall. I can learn these runs, but these runs, they get my brain. How can I learn these runs? That's where training comes in. So we should all admire and appreciate everyone's ability, the human's ability to be adaptable and have training to further your natural talent of what you're already born with. I have, for example, a talent at creating exercises, creating solutions, finding ways to help absolute beginners and advanced and intermediate and all levels of people get better at their singing. That's like my talent. I'm good at analyzing and then creating that. Okay, that was something that I've kind of always been good at, even before I did singing. I used to be a programmer, for example. I work in IT support. I'm good at fixing problems. All right, so that's like my skill. You could say my talent. Sometimes I take it for granted and I expect other people to solve their problems the way I did. But then I realized, people actually can't solve their problems the way I'm doing it for them. So this is actually maybe a skill that I've developed over time, or maybe I'm naturally born with. Plus I've developed it with mentors that I've had in my life. I've had teachers that are mentors, Sometimes I had trouble with students in schools I used to work in, and I used to go to my mentor teachers and go, this student is so difficult. And they'd be like, it's your fault. I go, what do you mean? They go, you have to find the way to make it easy enough for them to get it. I'm like, okay. I go, what do you mean though? What's an example? And they gave me examples, make it one note at a time, make it do less so that they can figure it out. You need to give them a scaffolding, etc. Okay, that's TNT boys. All right, now let's move on to Dimash. So this is in relation to the Dimash video where he was judged by Dave Engren, I think the name was, a record producer. And the record producer said, I watched this in a TNT video, I watched this in a Contemplin video today. It came out a week ago though. The guy said to James Cordain's like, what's up? Why don't you like Dimash? Why don't you vote? He had like 98, for example, on his score. And he said, the Dave guy said, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. I hate this, right? I hate this kind of comment. There's been judges in the past that say this kind of comment and it annoys the hell out of me, right? Why? This is something that's coming from someone's feelings about the person singing. All right? It's a subjective thing about how a person should sing. We know he can sing. Dave is not saying Dimash can't sing. He's saying the way he sings is wrong in his choice of how he's choosing notes. Now, in Dave's video, he was interviewed about this and he said, he did say it's subjective. So I give him props that he says that it's a subjective thing of what he personally prefers in an artist. All right? So at least he said it was subjective, but in the way that he said it on the show, it didn't feel like that, right? It felt like what he subjectively feels is the way it should be. And then he went on to describe that in the interview. Now, why do I hate this and why do I disagree with this? I'll give you an example. In a show called Australian Idol, Guy Sebastian was on there, and Guy Sebastian was doing incredible runs. And there was this judge on there who was a non-singer called Dicko. I know, it's funny, that's his name, that's his nickname. And this judge would tell Guy, you need to pay respect to the melody and not do too many runs. But bro, do you realize Guy is an R&B singer? That's what R&B singers do. What you're doing is telling him to not sing in his genre, right? So when he changed, he sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere. Oh no, he sang What a Wonderful World. He sang, I see trees of green, red roses too, I see them bloom from me to you. But I think to myself, yeah, what a wonderful world. He did something like that, right? He did like a bunch of runs. And the runs were so amazing and tasteful and creative. You know Guy Sebastian, right? You guys know Guy Sebastian. If you don't know Guy Sebastian and you're my Dimash fans, look him up. And the judge, Dicko, said to the guy, you do too many runs. And I hate that because, one, that is his style. Now, Dimash has created his own style. Dimash has created his own style. Dimash does like an operatic male mixed with a pop singer, pop male, mixed with a female operatic diva, mixed with a female pop. He's like 4 voices, right? And the Dave guy said he's like 5 voices, and that's what might be why he might not work well on pop music. It's like, bro, Dimash is an innovator. He's different, right? You can't. It's like saying that AC/DC wouldn't work because the guy sings like black, like because he sings like that. Look how famous they got. The Guns N' Roses guy. Look how he sings. They sing different, right? Different is good. There's nothing wrong with different, right? There's a market for people that stand out in their own way as long as they're technically good. Now, saying that because you can do something and you shouldn't do it, what does that mean? What does that mean? If you can sing a high note, you shouldn't do it? I don't get it. If I can sing a high C, should I not sing a high C? Dimash can sing a high G in chest voice. Should he not? Dimash can do a dolphin whistle. Should he not do it? I don't get it. He didn't even feel like he did too much. If your highest note is such and such range, that admittedly it's a new area for men, like men don't commonly sing that high, but this man can. Should he not? Should he not also sing those low notes? Why is it like he's hating on the high notes? He didn't even say what he's hating on. Is he hating on the high notes? Is he hating on the runs? What's he hating on? What is wrong with doing like repetitious runs? Have you listened to ethnic music? The guy comes from Kazakhstan. The music is full of runs. Good luck finding Middle Eastern music or music in that area. Greek, like all that kind of music. It's basically, if you can't do runs, you're not a singer in those genres, right? In that style, you have to, it's like, that wasn't that great. But you know what I mean, right? It's all runs. You need runs. And high notes, of course, the singers hit their highest notes that they can. If you don't, it doesn't feel right? You want the singer to hit their limit. You don't want a singer, I call it perceived effort, right? When the singer is using a full effort, there's excitement for the artist, for the listener. If the singer is not using a full effort in what they're doing, I don't mean effort as in they're showing emotions. I mean effort as in they're trying really hard to create that sound. When they push themselves and create that sound, you feel excited, right? That's why you have to like sing the songs that fit in your correct range and stuff, so that you don't, so that it has the proper impact. If you have a deep voice, you have to sing songs that show off the deepness in your voice, not just as always the high part of, so it shows your full impact and that how high you can go, etc. So why should you not sing high notes? It's not like he's just sang the same note repeated all the time. It was like a super complex song, right? This is good. You want people to show what they can do. This to me comes down to, and Ken was talking about, you shouldn't judge if you're a different genre, but and he's right to a degree, but it's kind of funny that Ken said that because Ken himself is a rock genre, right? So, but he's judging Dimash and he's judging him well. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Or he's reacting to him, but at the same time, he's judging his abilities. And Ken made great comments about being able to judge technicality, because Dave said you can't judge a singer or art. Technically, you can only judge it subjectively, like on artistry. That's not true. Ken said, I've got one word for you, notes, or something like that. I loved when he said that. And that's totally true. You can measure a singer's objective ability. You can measure which notes they hit, how many times they hit those notes. I can measure, that's why I measure on the piano. You know, Dimash hit a high F and a high G in chest, and it had this sound to it. And Dimash hit a high C, you know, like operatic sound. Dimash hit those super low, like a low G in a operatic or in a nice with vibrato. A singer can or can't do vibrato. Can do vibrato at certain speeds, can do runs at certain speeds, can do runs at certain ranges. On and on and on. You can measure a voice, right? Now, to make it out and not vote for someone like as if they're not good enough because they're too good. What the hell does that mean? It's contradicting. And you can see from his smile, even when he says it, you can see on the smile, it's like, do you ever see when somebody lies sometimes and then you see their smile? It's like they know they've lied, and the way they deal with it is that smile, because there's actually something, some other reason that's really under the lie or behind the lie, which is the real reason, which is the reason that they create the lie, right? So in my opinion, the real reason is, bro, you just don't like that this singer can do these notes for whatever reason. It makes you uncomfortable. You're used to a certain kind of music. It makes you uncomfortable. This guy's new. He's different. You're like, oh, I don't like it. The same way that Dicko was judging Guy Sebastian, saying, oh, I don't like it when you add runs, because you don't listen to runs, bro. That's why you don't like it. It's uncomfortable for you. So when you hear a singer do runs on a song that never has runs, you get uncomfortable, right? Well, that's your problem. You're not willing to accept that there's singers of different genres and this is how they do things. You can say you don't like it, you can say you don't prefer this, but you can't say that the person is not capable. Just try to do runs, for example. Just try to do a high note. Ask any advanced singer to do a high note that Dimash does. This is not common, right? It's in a very difficult zone, and that's what I try to demonstrate. So being judged in that way, it feels wrong, because it is wrong, because that's not your real reason. And I didn't like how James said shame. It's like, you don't need to do that. I would prefer if you just asked him a follow-up question. It's like, what's too much about it? That's what I would ask. What's wrong with that? You know, the guy said, he tried to be like, you know, make it sound like it's like his opinion is like a philosophy or something. You know, just because someone can do something doesn't mean they should. Like, oh wow, so philosophical. Come on, like, what do you mean by that? You know, I want to know what you really mean. Oh, what was too much for you? You're implying something is too much. What was too much? A singer hitting a high note is too much. Was it too much when Pavarotti hit 9 high Cs in one of his operas? Was that too much? You know, like, what do you mean by too much? Is it too much because Dimash does a run that repeats 3 times? Is that too much? Like, what do you mean? You know, that's what I would ask. I wouldn't shame the guy, and I'm expressing my honest opinion here, right? If I was talking to him, I'd be like, what do you mean, bro? Like, what don't you like about it? And I want him to say, what don't you like about it? And then if he's gonna go like how he did in the interview, like all philosophical, oh, subjective, it's artistry. I said, yeah, whatever. But what did you think? I want to know exactly how you felt. Give me the timestamps. What for you felt wrong? That's what I want to know. I want someone, if they make a comment or a statement, just to be able to explain deeper why. That's why I'm making a half-hour video, 15 minutes for TNT and 15 for Dimash approximately, just explaining. It's important for us to know, what do you mean? What do you mean? When you say a comment, I want you to give me timestamps. What do you mean? Right? I want to know. What didn't you like? When did you start to feel uncomfortable? That's cool. Give me that, Like, say that, this verse was boring for me. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that, Like, I had to go through this uncomfortable moment as well with my girlfriend, right? With Jessica. There was a time where I was like complaining to her, oh, she liked John Legend. And I'm like, oh, something about John Legend that I don't like, right? She's like, what do you mean? He's R&B. Like, he's soulful, he's blah, blah, blah. What don't you like? I'm like, I don't know. I love the songs. I sing the songs. I learn the songs. I'm into it. I don't know what I don't like. I know he sounds great. I don't know what I don't like. And I was like, Rashad, you have a responsibility to explain yourself properly. This is me talking to myself. So then I sat down and I analyzed and I started to listen and I go, oh, okay. He says words in a certain way. He's like, oh, he does this sound, right? And he does like a squeak thing, kind of like Morissette's, except I don't enjoy it when he does it. And he does that tonality thing, which makes him kind of a mix between different genres. It's not full straight R&B, right? So then I kind of don't really enjoy that much. So what I meant to say is I love his songs, I love his songwriting, but I just prefer not to hear him singing it. I prefer hearing other people singing it because of these timestamps, because he uses this kind of tone, and he does these kind of squeaks, etc. I'm getting specific as to what it is that I don't enjoy that much. Okay? Doesn't mean I'll take it off if it's on the radio. No. I will listen to it. I like it. I just don't enjoy it as much as I do enjoy listening to Boyz II Men, Wanya Morris's tone, Tank's tone. And that's fine for us to enjoy different tones. It's like, I don't like cucumber, for example, but I love tomato. And my girlfriend loves cucumber. And she likes tomato too, but she didn't used to like tomato, but now she likes it. I tried to like cucumber. I tried it a lot of times. I didn't enjoy it, right? Just, I don't know, something about the taste. I tried different ones. So we do like different foods, different things. Same with artists. We prefer different artists. But it's great if we can try to endeavor at least to explain why, so that we don't hurt the feelings of people that do like the other artists. And it's nice to have clarity. It's nice to have clarity, all right? Another comment that I maybe want to touch on is some people said that Dimash is screaming. And they don't mean his song. Okay, now this is a similar comment to what the Dave Judge made. This is a way to try to say that you don't like the artist, and you try to say a comment to put the artist down without really explaining what you mean. Okay, so Dimash, they're trying to say, oh, like he's not a singer, he's just screaming. Like everyone knows what a scream sounds like. Singing with impeccable pitch accuracy is not screaming. Singing a very high note is not screaming. It's singing. It's still singing. It's belting, mixed voice, whatever you want to call it. The terms, it's singing. It falls under singing. Screaming is a scream. It's a scream for help. It's a scream, cheering. Isn't that weird that we scream for help, but we scream when we're cheering for artists as well? I just thought of that. Right? So it's a kind of a way to discredit the artist, right? Now, maybe these people are just like me. Maybe it was like when I said, oh, like John Legend rubs me the wrong way sometimes, like I don't enjoy it that much or blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's just like me and they haven't thought, they don't have the skills in their mind to even technically go deeper and go, like, what is it that I actually don't like? Maybe the Dave guy, maybe he does have the skills, but he doesn't want to because it means he just has to admit that it's just this and this and this that he doesn't like. But just say that, be specific instead of making a blanket statement, oh, like you shouldn't do stuff just because you can. Like it's so blanket, right? And same with me. I was wrong as well for making blanket. I don't like John Legend. It's too blanket. It's too blanket. It's not good. We should clarify. But look how long it takes to clarify. Look, 35-minute video. See what I mean? Like, it's important to clarify, but it's not always easy to clarify, and clarifying takes a long time because it gets deep to the root of a person. It goes back to your history, what you're raised in, what your preferences are. Like, I wasn't raised with R&B. I was raised with Arabic music and disco music. Why do I like R&B? I don't know. I just like it. I just love it, right? Why do I like listening to other kinds of music as well. Why do I like particular songs? I don't know. I just like it. I love opera. I'm learning some opera songs at the moment. I don't know why I like it. I listen to it, makes me cry. I don't know. It just happens, right? So there's that of why we like something, and I wish maybe if we could learn that. Why I've always been curious. Why do some people like rock? Some people like this? Because I wasn't raised in R&B, so why do I like it? You get what I mean? So there is the part about how we're raised and what we like and prefer, but then there's also something else of just what we end up doing, even though we're not raised that way. You know what I mean? Some kids come out different to their parents and different to their siblings. Like, why do they stand out? Why are they different? It's interesting. That's something that I don't know much about, and I would love to learn about. If you guys have any ideas for me about that. Yeah, I think I've covered it as much as I want to. So yeah, the people that are saying the screaming, you need to get more, like, what do you mean? Like, this is a note that's held. You're just factually incorrect. This is not a scream. Okay? This is a scream. That's obvious. It's someone saying, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to say something to show how I'm right about not liking this guy. Instead of explaining that, oh, I just don't like it when a man sings notes above a high D, for example. They could just say that. Do they not like a rock singer that does those same notes? Because there's rock singers that can do that. I've heard look up Never Enough. There's a cover from Never Enough, and this guy sings it in the same key as the woman, and it sounds incredible. He's got a very similar range to Dimash in his chest range. Marcelito Pomoy, like, same thing. Yeah. All right, guys, let me have a read of your comments. Thank you so much for being involved. 290 people. Wow, guys, I'm so honored that you guys are interested in this topic. Thank you so much. Let me go through your comments. Okay. Oh, it's hard to get this right. Hold on. Hi to all the comments because that'll take me too long. So I'm just going to comment on anything that stands out to me. Okay. I might just say your names quickly. Francis, Yakira, Richard, Dela, Traveler, Critical. Hello from Kazakhstan. Alamir, Nicole, Crystal, Leslie. Yes, I'm in the park right now. Thanks for the background. Marilyn, Richard Ademi, Tatiana Ranovich from Russia. Booty Resinful. Convinced TNT boys to sing 11 languages. Thank you, Delia. UGD, Leslie Quimba. Talent is innate, skill is innate, talent being developed. Oh, I love that. Jackie B, Dimash Snapchat Plus has. Yes, I love that. Great, Jackie B, thank you. Jovi, Suarez, Hong Kong. You're welcome. Yes, you can replay this. It will be saved. Crystal, Grace. No, but I don't hate Dimash, like, what the heck. They're both Asians. Yep. Juliana, strong character, natural talent. Yes, nice. Yes, extraordinary harmonization, definitely. Elizabeth, gifted talents, especially didn't get proper training. Yes. Delia, thank you. You're welcome. Jackie B, I love them both too, but Dimash is my first favorite. Yep, everyone has a favorite. It's totally normal to have your favorite. Mora Ledesma, Ma, Happy Cheeks, hello, Booty, Rosenful, thank you, but Dimash is the greatest wine in autumn. That's fine, that's great. Rosangela, Dimash extraordinaire. The Russian name, sorry, I can't read it. Nbet, Exap, Javi Suarez, can you save it to live coach? Yes, you can watch it later. I'm Team Dimash, but the kids are amazing too. Love your channel, hugs from me. Thank you, Stranger this star. Leovelin Ligan, Anna, I see the Martian click. Swans, yes, I put up swans last night, didn't I? Yeah. Oh, is that just Dimash, not with Tengri, you mean? Lenny, I love Dimash, but I love TNT boys. Yeah. Maria, yes, Dimash is incredible. Rizangi Pachu, keep quiet every time I sing. That is usually comment I got. Hey, and that's a form of feedback. It doesn't mean it's correct, but it's a form of feedback. Yo, Jim TC, my coach on point. Yo, Jim's one of my long-term students. He's done about nearly 33 hours with me. He's killing it. Thank you so much. Rashad is the most legit. I love that, man. Thank you so much. Alicia Diacono. My favorite is Dimash. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. Anna Alejandra. Alison from Hawaii. RM. Yes, go to work. You can watch it later. Happy chicks. Talent needs honing too. To make the best of the talent. Make more. Yes. Invincible. Like I said. Mora. Sorry, I can't read that. RM. Have a great day. Maria. Carolina. Playing piano in a party when he's 6. Wow, he's playing piano at 6. That's amazing. Dennis. Like TNT Boys is amazing. Superhuman. Dimash. Supermash. And I hate when people say Dimash. The guy kept saying Dimash in the interview. Is it Dimash or Dimash? It's Dimash, right? Dimash Kuderbergen. Is it Kuderbergenov or Kuderbergen? Betty Chang. Invincible, Jackie B. Dimash is a natural, proven to be pitch perfect. But he studied to develop that. Yeah, cool. D-Day, hi there. DNA plus training. Oh, excuse me. The biggest problem is the kids always cause a shock impression when compared to adults. It's kind of unfair to compare. They have the cute appeal. Yes, but the thing about the kids is that they put any adult to the test. That's the thing about them. They don't sing like kids. I've never seen kids that advanced. They are extremely special. Peter Dakius. Yeah, we're not comparing them. Who the hell, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't want to compare them. I just thought of that they're in the same competition. You guys might be comparing. I just actually thought of those two, and I was going to make individual videos, but I had time to do a live. So I was kind of like, why not just do a live talking about both? So I wasn't comparing them at all in any way. I wanted to talk about some of the comments that were left on my last TNT Boys video, and I wanted to talk about the Dimash video that I watched Ken Tamplin make today. I made last week, but I watched it today about the judge that said the comment about Dimash. Andrew says, Pele's Dimash vocal technique can be seen. Maria, Delia, Jackie B. It's a nice day. Yes, it's a nice day. Endang, Nixon, Junjun. 20 years of professional training, says Betty. Okay, wow. He's got that. On top of having absolute pitch. Dimash is an amazing example of what we should aspire to. Someone who is both gifted as well as extremely heavily trained and disciplined. It's extremely inspiring to me. The best singers are Asian. There you go. Maria, Clementine, Penai. Okay, all the TNT boys can whistle. Okay. I disagree. Dimash can connect to the audience, or he would not be that popular. He's not just only hitting high notes. It's what the show is emphasizing on. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that he's only famous. Look at that sweat patch. I'm not saying he's only famous because he hits high notes, if you thought that's what I meant. I don't mean that at all. It's definitely a standout feature of his. But, of course, it's the performance. It's all of the elements come together. Panay. Okay, I'm just reading the comments, guys. Leonard, and calling out the names that I haven't called out. Andy. There's a lot of comparison messages. I don't want you guys to compare them in that way. That's it. I agree with the competition thing. I'm not into like comps where people are pitted against each other because it's very hard to measure. You can only measure technicality, and the artistry it's very like technical, as in you can only measure, how good someone's falsetto or vibrato or whistle or etc. low notes, but it's hard to measure the artist side. And why would you just measure even the technical side as well? It's like I like shows where they just showcase the abilities, but why do people have to win? Why can't they give them all a cut? Andrew Pelez. Oh, this is a hard one. Rin. Okay. Yes, this life is going to be saved. Junjun. Blah, blah, blah. The important part comes to Dimash. Come on. Francis showed interest in singing when he was 2 years old. Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks, Dolly. Thank you. Kimberly, a group of kids mimicking an accomplished professional singer. Oh, come on, Kimberly. I don't think you understand how good TNT boys are. Jenna, we do not really know the criteria of the world's best. I love that, Jenna. What the hell is the criteria of these shows? Right? What is the criteria? They get a bunch of people, but at the end of the day, what are they judging them on? It's just a vote, right? I would love to know what they actually judge them on. And this is what I don't like. Why do you have to judge them? Why can't you just comment about what you enjoyed, what they could improve? Thank you for performing for us. Here's your money. Bye. Why can't it be like that? I don't understand the need that somebody has to win. Who's going to win? Oh, it's not fair. They should win. It's just drama. It's unnecessary, man. Why can't we spend more time learning about their stories? I would love to learn about their stories. I find that extremely interesting to learn about the stories, I want to watch their home videos from when they're little. I want to interview with their siblings and their parents or whoever's around them. That's what I want to know about. I want to see that stuff. That's more interesting than all the drama they create in the shows, I don't know if they show much drama in this show, but just the competitive side, and I'm not into it. We don't grow by competing. We grow by bringing out the best in each other. If I was competing with all the singers I met, they would never give me advice and give me help and sing with me and collaborate with me and do all the things that I've done with them. They would just compete with me. Oh, I'm not going to help that guy. I don't like that. That's me, though. We do not really know the best. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I love that one. Oh, it's a war. Oh, Junjun, that's pretty funny about end of the competition. Oh, Andy's message was retracted, so I didn't see that. Ellis, I'm here for my handsome coach. Thank you. The coach is not comparing. Yes, I'm not comparing. Thanks, Nyleno, for anyone that thought that I'm comparing. I would love to see a full presentation of Dimash in the show. Yeah. Thanks, Jackie. I love hearing my reviews. Whoop, my phone's starting to die. 15%. Axl Rose is one of the widest vocal range on rock. Yeah, crazy, right, Santiago? Well, in my opinion, they're all good in their own way. I love that. Layer in. Yeah. Andy, people compare. Why compare oranges with apples? It's good. Sometimes I want to eat oranges, sometimes I want to eat apples. They're not used to high-pitched male. Yeah, Neko plays. Dimash changed the game, right? Dimash changed the game. See, this is Junjun. You're saying that he's shouting. This is like the same thing as when I was talking about the screaming. It's not shouting, bro. It's singing. Trust me. If that was shouting, if you want to hear shouting, you should go to karaoke bars. Even sometimes they shout. Sometimes they do shout. They're not even trying to sing the right note. Well, I think they are. I'm not sure. But the sun keeps following me. I don't like children singing. Okay, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that they're not extremely talented. I don't like children singing. Okay. It's a bit broad, right? I wonder. Happy chicks. I love that. I don't care about this judge. He doesn't get the art behind the voice. Rashad, I love what you're saying. Thanks, Clementine. The ideas. Aranya also got very upset when he said that people will be confused by listening to Dimash on record because it sounds like five different. How insulting. I know, right? There's nothing confusing. What are they talking about? I'm going to lift this up for a while. What are they talking about, mate? See, it's just like another way to try to discredit him. Why would you be confused? Oh my God. You just have to watch one video and you won't be confused. I remember when I used to think like, I love Ludacris, the rapper Ludacris, and I never knew what he looked like, right? Because I listened to him a lot before I ever saw a video of him. Because back then, videos weren't as accessible as they are now, back when I was younger. And then when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, he looks completely different to what I thought. I thought he was like some big, overweight guy or whatever. It's weird how we think, right? And then he ends up being this like slim, fit dude with like a handsome smile. Funny. Santiago, TNT boys called your attention first because they're kids. Medina. Each of them have their uniqueness. They are gifted. I love that. Mary Grace, Buena, thank you. 2020 Zafri. Singer like TNT out there, but Dimash 1 in a million. Oh, there's not a lot of singers like TNT boys out there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull my coach card. You're not analyzing properly, bro. Trust me. But I get it. When I was younger, before I learned to sing, by the way, I had no formal training. I went to 3 vocal lessons ever. Okay? Most of my learning was from books because I didn't get what I wanted from the lessons. So I decided to buy books. And actually, when I learned guitar, was actually what helped me learn my voice because the methods I used for guitar, I adapted those methods and used them for voice. So I didn't have formal training, but I did use books for learning instruments, mainly guitar. And that helped me get ideas of how to develop my voice. And there was some stuff I read. There was a singing book that I bought, which I used about 1/3 of it, and it was 1/3 of it was really good. The rest of it was all like reading notes, which you don't need to know how to do to learn to sing. You don't need to learn how to read notes. You just have to learn how to train your ear. But yeah, just thought I'd throw that out there because somebody in a comment said that I have formal vocal training or whatever. It's like I didn't go to no school. I have no training. I learned to sing. I created my own method based on the way I learn instruments and based on watching my naturally talented siblings and how they learned. My brother and sister. Someone's smoking far out. It annoys the hell out of me. Just gonna move. I watched them, and watching them really gave me a lot of ideas how to train my voice and how to teach people. So that really advanced me a lot. So that's how I kind of developed my system. And hanging around with amazing singers and hearing them in person and getting little tips and tricks. Teresa Galito. It took more like you have to do things with taste. I will use Avery Wilson. I think runs pour out of him, but I sometimes can't stand it. Yes, that's a good comment. The reason you might feel like that is because the runs he does are sometimes too similar. So he'll do the similar runs too often. They're similar in that they go down and up the scale in a very similar pattern, right? Like, oh, 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 oh. For example, he might do that same run many times, because I even experienced this. I love R&B, and I listened to Avery on some of his covers, and I felt actually the same way. And I was like, I love singers that do lots of runs, and I love lots of runs in songs, but why? What's not? I'm not feeling something here. Something feels wrong, even though I'm extremely blown away by the speed and the clarity of the runs and all that. There was too much of the same runs that had the same rhythm. So the timing was the same. Like there's different kinds of rhythms. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4 and a... It's the 4 kinds of rhythms, okay? Quarters, eighths, triplets and sixteenths, the ones I just did. And if you do the same one too often, it ends up sounding like the same thing too much. It's kind of like you're hearing... It's kind of like repetitive songs that the chorus is the same every time and there's no background changes or there's no nothing. It gets a bit boring for some people. Some people like more simple music, and some people like music that has more changes. So that might be why you feel like that, Teresa. Yeah. I'm just going to scroll through a bit of fighting here. Dimash doesn't always sing high notes, he can sing low notes, or yes. Teresa, Avery can maybe sing more runs than Daryl, but I enjoy Daryl's. Yes, you're exactly right. And you know, Teresa, you can measure it, what I'm saying, the thing I just said. You can actually check the notes that Daryl is singing, and you'll see the differences and the placement of the notes over the different chords, etc. That's what makes them feel more interesting. So you can definitely overdo or do something like too repetitively, or like, that's why I like to describe it perfectly. It's like, oh, what is it about this singer or this cover that I'm not enjoying that much? And there is a way to measure. So it's always good to try to measure things, and you'll find out the reasons. But the thing is, measuring is hard. Measuring takes education, and education can take a long time. Even for me, sometimes some of the theory is quite complicated, and I'm like, oh, what's happening here? My brother's very good at the theory, because not only was he naturally talented, but in his after he finished school, he went to a music college and actually spent 4 years learning about deeper theory and composition. So he's actually he learned to explain what he was naturally good at hearing. He learned to explain it with words. Nah, Dimash is not oldies music type. Okay, I'm running out of time, so I'm just gonna go through quickly here. Oh, Dimash just got his next concerts. That's great. Yes, layer in. Santiago, I agree with Pavarotti comment. Yeah. Given that music schools still teach classical singing, I think there's a point to it, Bloody Vanessa says. That's kind of because they're behind the times. They should teach a variety. Because if there's interest for a variety, I think they should teach a variety. There shouldn't be an emphasis only on classical. Which is why now there's such a high popularity for current coaches who are not just classical anymore. Notice there's a lot of contemporary type of coaches now. Thanks, Alicia. It is nice to sit outside. UW Badger. Oh, it's cold where you are. I know, I'm scrolling through. Oh my God, Janet. He produces punk. Yeah. John Legend is the best. Jack. Yep, John's great. I appreciate him more now. Funny that I went through that with my partner and then I learned to appreciate him more, which is really good. Okay, R&B is universal music. Yeah. Dimash still needs to give himself to the audience more. Lewis O. I don't know what she means, bro. I don't know what she means. Thanks, Maria. OG of GR. Thanks, Jenna. Thanks, yes, Ven from Japan. Woo! Okay, I gotta go to work. Oh my God, so many comments. Holy crap. Way heaps comments. Is there an easy way to explain how you measure? No, there is not an easy way. There's not an easy way. It's complicated. You have to get it. You have to spend a few hours learning about the different skills, how they work, and then how to measure. Could possibly put it in a quick way. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed my video. If you guys want to learn more about singing or you got any questions about that, check out my website, rnbsinginglessons.com. It's been fantastic having you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this live. See you. Bye.